Welcome to another episode of The Q, a show dedicated to hope, inspiration, and giving back to the community. Tonight we have Joan Ricci, the Executive Director of the Literacy Center of Attleboro. Thank you so much, Joan, for joining us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And so tell me, how long have you been with the Literacy Center, Joan?
I've been there for 14 years.
Okay.
And we were founded 28 years ago, so about half the time it's been open.
And your center offers so many different programs. Mm-hmm. I know you have, I'm just going to sort of run through them real quick, sure, and then you can touch upon them if you like, and let me know if I miss any. You have the adult basic learning, you have the citizenship classes, you have the English classes, mm-hmm, you have the children's summer program, you have the GED program, basic computer training, one-on-one tutoring, and just a couple of events, family mystery night, and the big read.
You got it all.
Okay. So let's talk about one that's coming up pretty quickly, which is the big read.
Sure. Every year, Attleboro, we have a partnership called 1ABC, and it's spearheaded by the library and the Arts Museum, the Literacy Center, the Sun Chronicle, Bristol Community College, other partners also. And we choose a book for the whole community-wide read, and then we have a lot of activities around that book. It's a lot of fun. This year, the book is called The Beautiful Things That Heaven Bears by Dino Mangestu, and it's a very serious book. It's about an African immigrant and what he faces when he comes to the United States. So the group this year decided to really focus on immigrants in the area. So, of course, the Literacy Center is playing a major role. We had students from 62 countries last year coming for classes.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. We just have such incredible diversity, and everyone gets along. It's really a wonderful atmosphere. We have lately the country, it goes in waves, different countries. Lately, the most students have been coming from Egypt. So we're really, you have a lot of Arabic-speaking students. We have a lot of students from Guatemala, and then a smattering from 59 other countries.
Right, right.
60 other countries. It's amazing. And so we're having a panel discussion in partnership with the Attleboro Area Council of Churches on October 13th.
Who are they?
Who are they?
No, just kidding.
Nice group of people.
Yes.
And they really want to see what they can do to help immigrants in the area. So this panel discussion is going to be the kickoff. There's going to be 4 or 5 students from the literacy. They'll tell their stories, students from different countries, and it should be very interesting. It's going to be at the Attleboro Public Library at 7 o'clock on the 13th. And from there, the Council of Churches is really going to kick off more activities to do with immigration. And I think that the serious things that are happening in Syria right now are really, people are really paying attention to, what immigrants need and what can we do to help. And groups like the Council of Churches are very concerned and would like to do something. So we will have some refugees on the panel, probably from Cambodia also. I mean, that was years ago that the Cambodian refugees came, but Attleboro was just a wonderful host to these people and families, and now they're part of the community. So it should be an interesting night.
It sure should be. But you have all kinds of stuff going on for October, and you also have the family mystery night.
We do. It's fun. We used to have a haunted house, and we sent a lot of children home crying, so we said we don't want to do that anymore.
No.
Because we're supposed to be about literacy.
Right.
So now we have a family mystery night, and there's age-appropriate mysteries that the kids have to run around the building to solve. So we're housed in the First Mayor's House, which is an old mansion on North Main Street, right between the library and the courthouse, and it's a romantic kind of place. People come in and say, "Oh, I love this," big staircase, and really old-fashioned. And so the kids have scavenger hunts, and they run around the whole building. There's 3 stories, and to get their clues, and it's very interactive. The parents help them, and it's a fun night. It's $5 a person.
And you do that for 2 nights?
We do that for 2 nights, yeah.
Wow.
Well, we used to do the haunted house for 3 nights. That
wow.
was wild.
Okay, so I guess you cut back a little bit.
They cut back a little.
No scary kids?
No, nothing
crying
scary.
kids.
No scare. Probably appropriate for kids age 3 to 11. And kids always have a good time.
Now, what about special needs children?
We don't service children. Children are not our primary mission. Adults are our primary mission. We do have a summer program for kids, mostly so that their parents can keep coming to class.
Right.
But also because many of these children don't speak English in the home during the summer, and that gives them a huge academic loss if they don't have any exposure in the summer. So, we do have a summer program, and last year it was tremendously helped by the food program, the free lunch program in the park that the Council of Churches does.
That's the Kids Summer Cafe.
Kids Summer Cafe. And because we were able to serve more children because we could bring them there for lunch.
Oh,
and it
how
was
nice.
great, because the parents got to go, if the more the parent learns, the better educated a parent is, the better the child's going to be. So, do we service children directly? No. Do we service children? Absolutely.
Indirectly.
Because they benefit tremendously. The family
Right.
benefits. We do special programs for parents to help them learn how to interface with the schools, so that we teach them how to read a report card, and why is it important to send notes to the teacher? What's a field trip? We had parents keeping kids home on field trip days because they didn't understand them.
Right.
So we do a lot, indirectly for children.
So you're really helping the whole community by...
Well, that's our slogan,
The family.
is build a better community.
Build a better
'Cause
community.
we really think that through education, that's what happens.
What about the basic computer training? I'm assuming that will trickle down as well to the schools, because everything's sort of log on and look at the
Yeah.
kids' reports and progress, like you
Oh,
said.
yeah.
It put a note to the teacher, and so everything's really
Parents-
computerized.
Everything is. And, I don't know how people can operate their remote control if they don't have computer skills. So,
Well,
it's
some of us are
important.
still defunct in the remote control department, but
So we do have a number of computer classes, beginner level and intermediate level. And we everybody learns how to, for example, get an email address, and how to comparison shop online. And then we introduce the basics of Excel and Word, and give people some skills that are transferable to
Right.
jobs.
Right.
A lot of the teenagers, they would come in and, I know how to use computers. And it turns out they knew how to use Facebook, but they really didn't know anything. We'd say, well, open a Word document. Well, what's that?
Right. Is it Facebook?
Yeah, really, and so that's really an important thing that we do. We also have a computer lab that's open to the public, so people can come in. If there's not a class going on, they can use the computer. They can log on to Rosetta Stone so that they can practice their English. The high school equivalency students can come in anytime and use that also. So, it's an important service to the community because...
What about your GED program?
Well, it's not called GED anymore.
Right.
But it will be soon. It's called HiSET, High School Equivalency Testing. We have a youth program that we do in partnership with BCC, and that's for 16 to 24-year-olds, and that's 4 days a week, so it's more intensive. And it has a social worker, which is great. We also have afternoon or evening classes open to anybody, and students in there range anywhere from 16 to 60. They come in with a variety of skills and levels, and that's, what they're working toward. So if very often, students who are in class either want more or they're stuck at a certain level, so that's when we try to get them matched one-on-one with the tutor. We have a fabulous volunteer tutor program. Actually, the Literacy Center was founded by volunteers.
I was going to say, you still have volunteers.
We still so we have about 105 volunteer tutors.
Wow.
And Well, we still have a waiting list of 60 people waiting for tutors. So
I saw
anybody
that.
out there who would like to be a tutor.
And let's get the number that they could call.
Sure.
Let's do that. Let's put a plug in for some tutors here.
508-226-3603 or theliteracycenter.com. We actually are starting tutor training tomorrow. There's a morning session that starts tomorrow, an evening session that starts Wednesday night. So if anybody's interested, it's not too late. We especially need people who can work in the evening because most of our students need tutoring in the evening hours. So, but anybody's welcome. The only requirements are that you have a high school diploma or equivalency and can pass a Corey check. And a willingness to help somebody in the community.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, it's 6 sessions. You learn a lot about the Literacy Center, about adult learning. You learn, you meet a lot of students, a lot of tutors, and then at the end, you choose what you would like to tutor. Would you like an English ESL student? Would you like a HiSET student? Computer, citizenship. Do you want to help somebody get their citizenship? And then we match you with somebody from the wait list.
60 waiting.
60 waiting.
Wow.
We used to be, when I first came, there were 148. So 60 is actually good. But we don't want anyone waiting because you lose people. Their schedules change, they move, they forget to tell you.
They change their mind.
It
becomes too overwhelming. You got to act.
Turn anyone away.
I know.
But we have a wait list for beginner English classes. There's almost always a wait list for that. We opened a new class last year. Every year we increase a little. Mm-hmm. We opened a new class last year, got rid of the wait list, and now it's back. But
and you're open. What are your hours of operation?
Monday through Thursday, we're open 8:30 in the morning till 8:30 at night.
That's a long day.
It's a long day.
Yeah.
And Friday and Saturday, we're open till noon.
So you're even open 6 days a week.
6 days, yeah. We have
one day reprieve.
Big program on Saturdays.
I bet.
And it's nice because if people get a new job, they can switch from day to night to Saturday.
Oh, they can?
Yep. Because
so
we
they
have
can
the
switch
we have the
within the
same
programs.
levels. They can switch. So we have the same levels.
That is nice.
Sometimes, and we try to meet people where they are. Naturally, everybody has to work. Everybody. What we find with many of our students, they may be doctors and lawyers and pharmacists, and mostly they're working at gas stations and pizza places and washing dishes because they don't have English.
Right.
So we're trying to help them get their English up to speed so that they can resume what they're skilled in.
Right. And that is a major. Now tell me a little bit about your graduation and recognition night.
Oh, it's a fun night.
Because I thought that was, I just saw a clip, a tidbit on it, and I thought, wow, that's so nice.
It's a great night. The HiSET grads are in caps and gowns, and all their families are there. And for many of the families, they never expected to see this day.
Right.
So it's a great honor for us that Betty Poria is always there, and all the state reps and local, the mayor comes, and it's an honor for the students to have these people there. All the new citizens march in also. I think last year we had about 15 new citizens, maybe 20 or so HiSETs. And it's just a fun night because everybody.
But what a great recognition for not only the students but their families.
For their families, it is.
Right.
The picture that made the newspaper this year was one of our grads holding her 2-year-old. And when you think about the effect that it's going to have on this 2-year-old, that his mom and that particular person actually, as soon as she got her HiSET, got a promotion at work. They sent her for more training. And,
fantastic!
It's important.
It is that's a great thing. We're going to take a break right now, and we're going to be back in just a moment. Good evening. My name is Carrie Quintel, host of The Q, a show dedicated to hope, inspiration, and giving back to the community. Please tune in live Monday evenings at 7 p.m. You can also watch us on a V-stream at 4dsportstalk.com. We have shows dedicated to hunger, yoga adventures, homeopathy, pain relief, and much, much more. We hope to see you Mondays at 7 p.m. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Carrie Quintel, host of The Q, a show dedicated to hope, inspiration, and giving back to the community. Please tune in live Monday evenings at 7 p.m. You can also watch us on a V-stream at 4dsportstalk.com. We have shows dedicated to hunger, yoga adventures, homeopathy, pain relief, and much, much more. We hope to see you Mondays at 7 p.m. Thank you. Welcome back to another episode of The Q. We apologize. We were having a little technical difficulties. Apparently, Hurricane Matthew has got us here in Massachusetts. It's always a fun night. So thank you so much for bearing with us. And tonight in the studio we have Executive Director of the Literacy Center, and she's telling us about some of the programming. And they are looking for tutors. And there is a wait list of about 60 people. And you can contact the Literacy Center at 508-226-3603. Joan, what I wanted to talk about next was some of the volunteers that make this happen, and also some of your supporters. Great. And I know you had a great story to tell me.
We have a very small budget, and we serve 500 people a year. So we rely on volunteers like you just can't imagine. We only have 10 staff people, 3 full-time, and the rest are part-time teachers. So just about everything that's done in our building is done by volunteers. Anybody's interested, we always have openings on the front desk as a receptionist, buildings and grounds, because it's an old building that needs a lot of love, and people walk in and just fall in love with it. All the old woodwork, and so we've had some wonderful people. But the story I wanted to tell you is the 3rd floor was originally the billiards room, because this was a very wealthy man who built the house originally. And it was divided into 2 apartments. So it made for 2 very small classrooms. And our classrooms are packed, and the students are in there, they're banging their heads on the slanted ceilings, and it was a nightmare. So I said, to help get rid of the wait list, why don't we take down this wall and make one big classroom? Of course, I don't know much about construction. This was a much bigger deal.
This could be an architecture nightmare.
No, actually, okay. But the point I want to make is we're almost there, and what a phenomenal outpouring from the community, because it took a year, but I can be patient. So we started with an architect. I needed to get an architect to get a permit. And he came and he volunteered his time to do that. So he did that. And then I went to the Rotary Club, and I said, I need this wall taken down, and I need the electricity moved. So GH Electrical volunteered to move the radiators for me, and they spent a couple of days up there and did it all as volunteers.
Wow.
And then a volunteer from Bristol County Savings Bank spearheaded the group to take down the wall with the help of some Rotarians and some of our tutors. So they came and did all of that. Then we had the floor fixed, and now the room, we've got a big room, but it's a mess. It's totally needs so much work. So a couple of tutors took apart the skylight and they cleaned it, and they painted it, and they put that back. And one day I got a call from Constant Contact, the email thing, and they said, "We'd like to send a crew to help you. Do you need anything done?"
Really?
So I said, "Well, I've got all this wood that needs to be sanded and polished." So they sent 7 IT engineers to spend the day sanding and polishing the wood.
That's wonderful.
So now all that's left is the painting, but it's a huge
So you need a painter.
undertaking. We got painters.
Oh, you got painters.
Sensata is sending 2 crews, 2 complete day through the United Way.
United Way. I was going to say Day of Caring.
They're doing Day of Caring, 2 Day of Caring, and they're going to paint.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's just fantastic. So this whole thing happened, slowly, but it happened with the help of so many volunteers. Just great.
There's so many good people in our community.
There really are.
And it's one of the reasons that we started this show. We started this show as an example to sort of point out some of the things that are not being reported in the news or not being, there's so many good volunteers, and there's a lot of people just like yourself doing a lot of good for the community.
Yeah.
Starting with, families.
People want to help.
They do.
Really do. And, we have students who come back and say, "What can I do?" I got so much. And I have a woman on my board now. She was a student. And so she's the student representative on the board, and she tells her story where she came knowing the only thing she knew in English were her numbers. And so she went through all the English classes, and she went through the high school equivalency classes, which is a hard transition to make.
Right.
And all the while she worked at Russell Lauren in fine catering, and she kept getting promotions as she went along and learned more English, because now she was able to train other people.
Right.
And now she's, her goal is to go to New England Tech for computers. She's just really wants to do that. And she's giving back. So, a lot of people just get that, they'll call and say, "Well, if you need some help, call me.
So I know this is going to be hard for you, but I'm going to push you on this one. So in 14 years, what is your most moving story that you know of? I mean, that was pretty moving in and of itself. The whole volunteer to get the room bigger so you could fit more people in, and that was just an amazing story. But is there a story you can share about a family?
There've been so many. It's hard to. I'm trying to think of something. I don't know. One day I walked into I said to the teachers, "I need a success story for my United Way report."
There you go. Yeah.
Nobody had a success story, because even the teachers think in terms of, and it's not a success unless they get their high set or unless they get their citizenship.
Well, there's always more.
So I walked into a class and I said to the students, "Does anybody can tell me something good that happened to you because you came here?"
Right.
And one kid raised his hand and he said, "Yeah." He said, "I work for a landscaper, and now that I can do math and figure square footage, I got a promotion."
Right.
I'm like, yeah. That's what it's all about, is helping people take those small steps and get better lives from it.
Right, and the small steps become a big step.
They can.
You have so many wonderful supporters. I'll just name a few of them here, and I don't mean to exclude anybody, but you have United Way, Balfour, Cryan Landscaping, Attleboro Rotarians, Walmart, Bristol County Savings, Holman Insurance, CarMax, Mansfield Bank, and then you have all these volunteers. How many volunteers do you have this year? Do you know?
Counting the board, the desk, and the tutors, probably about 150.
You have 150.
Yeah.
And that's to service 500 people. That's a lot.
It's a lot, but it takes a lot.
And that doesn't include the interim volunteers, like the electrical,
Oh, no, those are just the regulars.
Those are the regulars. Those are the regulars.
Those are the regulars.
Tell us a little bit about the Children's Summer Program and how it plays in. I realize summer has just passed, but I think it's important for families.
The kids do, well, first of all, we had 24 kids from 9 countries.
Wow.
And about half of them were from the United States. So this is a really good experience for them to start to make friends with kids.
Socialization.
They socialize and start to respect each other, and we have Muslim children who went to the lunch program and said, well, I can't eat pork, and and kids start to respect that about other cultures. I think they learn. We do a lot of science programs, science and technology programs. This year we did a lot of art programs. We do a lot with the Arts Museum, which is just a treasure in our community, the Attleboro Arts Museum. They do fabulous programs. So one day we combined the Arts Museum and the library and the Literacy Center. So the kids went to the Arts Museum, they saw a show, they came back, created stuff of their own, and then they exhibited it at the library, and they had a juried show, and so they asked people to vote. It was so cute. They were so excited. And one little girl said, this is the best day of my life.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so
that's wonderful.
It's a nice little program.
And like you said, if you can take care of the family, the rest of it will take care of itself, which is really nice. What about citizenship classes?
We mostly do one-on-one for citizenship.
That is one-on-one. I was wondering if it were group or one-on-one.
Sometimes we have a group, but it's a little hard because everybody has to be at the same level. So we mostly do, and tutors love to tutor citizenship. They get the biggest kick out of it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, most Americans probably couldn't pass the test.
Probably not. That's what I hear. Yes.
It's a history test, but people have to have a certain level of English also. So the citizenship tutors they're just amazing. Sometimes they get a little competitive of who gets the most citizens in one year.
That's okay.
I love it.
That's okay.
Yeah. But they go to the ceremonies, and we may get our own ceremony at the Literacy Center.
Really?
I was told by an official that they consider it, so that would be really exciting. Really exciting. We partner with Project Citizenship in Boston, and they bring volunteer lawyers down to fill out the application. We educate the students.
Excuse me. Oh,
I'm not Carrie. I said volunteer lawyer, and you just, you are a volunteer lawyer. But we educate the students for the test, but we don't have the expertise to fill out the applications. So they come once a year to Attleboro from Boston, and they do that. So we'll put together a group for that.
Very nice. Well, we really enjoyed having you in the studio. And we hope that some of our listeners will volunteer.
I hope so.
And
Come
again,
check it out.
Absolutely. And the address of the Literacy Center, Joan?
It's 80 North Main Street in Attleboro.
80 North Main Street. And the phone number there again is 508-226. I just want to make sure I get it right. 3603.
Yep.
And you have volunteer positions for just about anybody.
We do.
So give Joan a call.
Cleaners, you name it.
Right, grounds. It needs some TLC there, but a lovely, lovely building. Thank you so much for joining us, Joan.
Thank you for having me.